Let us learn the word hinder. Hinder is a verb. Hinder means to make something difficult or impossible to do or achieve. It can also mean to obstruct or block the progress or development of something. For example, if you are trying to open a door, but something is blocking the way, you could say that the object is hindering you from opening the door. Or, if you are trying to complete a task, but something is making it difficult for you to do so, you could say that the obstacle is hindering your progress. Here are a few examples of how the word hinder can be used in different sentences. The heavy traffic on the road hindered our ability to get to the airport on time. The lack of resources hindered the company's growth. The injury hindered the athlete's performance in the competition. Language barriers that hinder fair communication are largely to blame for the two's miscommunication. In that volatile environment, the speaker did her best to avoid a political situation that would further hinder the country's economic growth. Synonyms of the word hinder are obstruct, thwart, inhibit, hamper, impede, bottleneck. Antonyms of the word hinder are permit, encourage, facilitate, assist. Let us learn the word grave. Grave can be used as an adjective, noun, or verb. Let us begin with the use of grave as a noun. A grave can refer to a place where a dead person is buried. It is a hole in the ground where a coffin or a body is placed. This is the most common meaning of the word grave. For example, you could say, I visited my grandfather's grave at the cemetery. The word grave can be used as a noun to refer to a state of great seriousness or importance. For example, you could say, the situation is of grave concern to us. The word grave can be used as an adjective to describe something that is very serious or important. For example, you could say, the situation is grave. We must take immediate action. Grave can also be used as a verb, which means to carve or cut something, such as letters or figures, into a hard surface. Here are a few examples of how the word grave can be used in different sentences. The news of the tragedy was received with grave concern by the community. The situation was so grave that the authorities were forced to declare a state of emergency. The patient's condition was grave and the doctors were doing everything they could to save her life. The president's speech addressed the grave challenges facing the country. The archaeologists were excited to discover a grave filled with ancient artifacts. The grave mistake cost the company millions of dollars. Kim's mother had a grave expression on her face when she saw her daughter's report card. Synonyms of the word grave are gloomy and serious. Antonyms of the word grave are frivolous and cheerful. Let us learn the word obstruct. Obstruct is a verb. Obstruct means to block or get in the way of something. It can be a physical object blocking a path, or it can be an action or behavior that hinders someone from doing something. For example, if there is a tree fallen across a road, it is obstructing the road. No one can drive through until the tree is moved. Or, if someone is trying to do their work, but their coworker is constantly interrupting them, that coworker is obstructing their progress. Here are a few examples of how the word obstruct can be used in different sentences. The overgrown bushes were obstructing the view of the street from the window. The police were trying to clear the crowd from the road, but some people were obstructing their efforts. The prosecutor accused the defendant of obstructing justice by tampering with evidence. The legal process was obstructing the company's ability to move forward with its plans. The cluttered desk obstructs the flow of energy in the room. Synonyms of the word obstruct are hinder, restrict, and prevent. Antonym of the word obstruct is allow. Let us learn the word invigorate. Invigorate is a verb. Invigorate means to give energy or strength to something or someone. It can also mean to make something or someone more lively or active. For example, if you drink a cup of coffee in the morning, it can invigorate you and help you feel more awake and alert. Or, if you do some exercise, it can invigorate your body and make you feel more energetic. Here are a few examples of how the word invigorate can be used in different sentences. A cold shower can invigorate the body and help you wake up in the morning. The beautiful scenery on the hike invigorated my spirits and made me feel more alive. The spicy food we ate for dinner really invigorated our taste buds. Water will rehydrate the soil and invigorate the roots. The company's new marketing campaign is designed to invigorate sales and increase brand awareness. The instructor's enthusiastic teaching style really invigorated the classroom and made the lesson more enjoyable for everyone. Synonyms of the word invigorate are galvanize, stimulate, exhilarate, vitalize, energize, rouse. Antonyms of the word invigorate are tire, bore, dishearten, depress. Let us learn the word tentacles. Tentacles is a noun. A tentacle is a long, thin, flexible arm or appendage that some animals have. Tentacles are usually used for sensing, grasping, or moving. One animal that is known for its tentacles is the octopus. Octopuses have 8 tentacles, which they use to catch and eat their prey. They also use their tentacles to move around and explore their environment. Other animals that have tentacles include squid, jellyfish, and some types of coral. In addition to being a body part on certain animals, the word tentacle can also be used more generally to refer to any long, thin, flexible appendage, such as the vines of a plant or the cords on a lamp. Here are a few examples of how the word tentacles can be used in different sentences. The jellyfish's tentacles were covered in tiny, stinging cells used to catch its prey. The plant's tentacles had wrapped around the tree trunk, strangling it. Terrorism has spread its tentacles throughout the world, exacting a heavy toll. The tentacles of corruption have spread throughout society. Synonym of the word tentacles is limb. Let us learn the word concealment. Concealment is a noun. Concealment means to hide something or keep it secret. It can also refer to the act of hiding something or the state of being hidden. For example, if you conceal something, you might put it behind a closed door or under a pile of clothes so that it's not visible. Or, if you have a secret, you might try to conceal it by not telling anyone about it. Concealment can be used in many different contexts. For example, you might use it to describe someone who is trying to hide something from the police, or to describe a military unit that is trying to hide its location from the enemy. Here are a few examples of how the word concealment can be used in different sentences. Soldiers wear camouflage jackets for concealment. The spy used clever disguise and concealment tactics to hide from the enemy. The defendant was arrested and charged with evidence concealment. The soldiers' camouflage clothing provided excellent concealment in the dense forest. The company's financial records were kept in a secret location to prevent their concealment from the public. Synonyms of the word concealment are cover, hideaway, and mask. Antonyms of the word concealment are disclosure and exposition. Let us learn the word charismatic. Charismatic is an adjective. Charismatic means having a strong and attractive personality that inspires confidence and admiration. A charismatic person is someone who is charming, confident, and able to inspire and influence others. For example, if you have a charismatic leader, they might be able to rally people to their cause and get them excited about a project or goal. Or, if you have a charismatic friend, they might be able to lift your spirits and make you feel good about yourself. Charismatic people are often natural leaders, and they are often able to persuade others to follow their ideas or opinions. They might have a special ability to inspire and motivate others, and they are often able to create a sense of excitement and enthusiasm in those around them. Here are a few examples of how the word charismatic can be used in different sentences. The business's success can be attributed to the charismatic organization and management abilities of its leaders. The charismatic politician was able to win over the crowd with his eloquent speech and confident demeanor. The charismatic teacher was able to engage and capture the attention of her students with her enthusiastic teaching style. Synonyms of the word charismatic are appealing, hypnotic, magnetic, and attractive. Antonyms of the word charismatic are appalling, boring, unappealing, and abominable. Let us learn the word harness. Harness can be used as a noun or verb. A harness is a set of straps or other devices that are used to hold, support, or control something or someone. There are many different types of harnesses, and they can be used for a variety of purposes. For example, a horse harness is a set of straps and buckles that are used to attach a horse to a cart or plow. A climbing harness is a special type of harness that is worn by rock climbers to help them safely ascend a cliff or mountain. A safety harness is a type of harness that is worn by workers to protect them from falls or other accidents while working at heights. In addition to these specific types of harnesses, the word harness can also be used more generally to refer to any kind of system or device that is used to control or support something or someone. Here are a few examples of how the word harness can be used in different sentences. Scientists are continuing to develop technology to efficiently harness solar energy. The horse harness allowed the farmer to attach the horse to the plow and start working the fields. The climbing harness was essential for the rock climbers as they made their way up the steep cliff face. The harness on the paraglider allowed the flyer to soar through the sky. The harness on the sled kept the dogs in place as they pulled the sled through the snow. Synonyms of the word harness are employ, control, utilize, exploit, apply, and operate. Antonyms of the word harness are unharness and release. Let us learn the word literary. Literary is an adjective. The word literary is used to describe anything related to literature, or written works, such as novels, poems, and plays. For example, if you are a literary critic, you might write reviews or articles about books, analyzing the style, themes, and characters in the work. If you are a literary scholar, you might study and research literature, looking at the history and cultural context of different works. The word literary can also be used to describe things that are related to literature in a more general sense. For example, a literary event might be a book fair or a poetry reading. A literary magazine is a publication that features poetry, short stories, and other written works. Here are a few examples of how the word literary can be used in different sentences. It was Chaucer who really turned English into a literary language. The literary critic wrote a review of the latest best-selling novel, analyzing the themes and characters in the work. The literary scholar studied the cultural and historical context of Shakespeare's plays. The literary event featured a poetry reading and a book signing by local authors. Synonyms of the word literary are learned and erudite. Antonyms of the word literary are colloquial and illiterate. Let us learn the word versatile. Versatile is an adjective. The term versatile refers to the ability to do many different things or easily adapt to different situations. A versatile person is someone who is able to do a wide range of tasks or activities, and they are often good at adapting to different situations. For example, if you are a versatile musician, you might be able to play many different instruments and styles of music. Or, if you are a versatile athlete, you might be able to excel at many different sports. In addition to describing people, the word versatile can also be used to describe objects or things that are able to do many different things or serve many different purposes. For example, a versatile tool might have many different functions or be able to be used in a variety of different contexts. Here are a few examples of how the word versatile can be used in different sentences. The versatile musician was able to play many different instruments and styles of music. Despite his versatility in many fields such as music, painting, and poetry, King Samudragupta prioritized governance. The versatile athlete excelled at a variety of sports, from basketball to soccer to tennis. The versatile tool had many different functions and could be used in a variety of different contexts. The versatile actor was able to play a wide range of roles, from comedic to dramatic. Synonyms of the word versatile are skillful, resourceful, protean, adaptable, and talented. Antonyms of the word versatile are inflexible, limited, and unadaptable. Let us learn the word utopian. Utopian is an adjective. The word utopian refers to an ideal or perfect society, where everyone is happy and everything is perfect. A utopian society is one that is free from conflict, suffering, and other problems that we often see in the world. The idea of a utopian society has been around for a long time, and many people have dreamed of creating a perfect world where everyone can live in peace and harmony. However, it is often difficult to achieve this kind of perfect society, as there are many different factors that can contribute to conflict and other problems. The word utopian can also be used to describe things that are related to this idea of a perfect society. For example, a utopian novel might be a story that describes a society where everything is perfect. A utopian community might be a group of people who are working together to create a better, more harmonious world. Here are a few examples of how the word utopian can be used in different sentences. Some believe that preventing scientific research from invading human privacy is utopian because it can never happen. When artists create impressions of future cities, they appear too unbelievable, almost utopian. The utopian vision of the future was one where everyone had equal opportunities and there was no poverty or conflict. The utopian government was able to solve all the problems facing the country and create a perfect society. Synonyms of the word utopian are idealistic, quixotic, and imaginary. Antonyms of the word utopian are dystopia, viable, clear-headed, real, and achievable. Let us learn the word amorphous. Amorphous is an adjective. The word amorphous refers to something that is shapeless or without a definite form. An amorphous substance is one that is not solid, but rather has a soft, flexible, or flowing consistency. For example, Water is an amorphous substance because it can take on the shape of its container. Glass is also considered amorphous because it is not a crystal, but rather has a disordered, non-crystalline structure. The word amorphous can also be used to describe things that are not clearly defined or have no distinct shape or structure. For example, an amorphous organization might be one that is not clearly structured or has no clear hierarchy. An amorphous mass might be a blob of something that has no definite shape. Here are a few examples of how the word amorphous can be used in different sentences. Water is amorphous because it can take any shape. The amorphous blob of goo had no definite shape and seemed to flow like a liquid. The amorphous organization was difficult to understand, as there was no clear hierarchy or structure. The amorphous cloud of gas had no distinct shape, but seemed to change and flow as it moved. A dark, strangely amorphous shadow filled the room. The amorphous substance was soft and flexible, and could be molded into different shapes. Synonyms of the word amorphous are shapeless, formless, unshaped, vague, unstructured, unformed, and structureless. Antonyms of the word amorphous are definite and shaped. Let us learn the word deceitful. Deceitful is an adjective. The word deceitful means being dishonest or untruthful. A deceitful person is someone who tells lies or deliberately tries to mislead others. For example, if you are deceitful, you might tell someone a lie in order to get what you want. Or you might try to deceive them by hiding the truth. Deceitful behavior is often used to manipulate or deceive others, and it can damage trust and relationships. The word deceitful can also be used to describe things that are designed to deceive or mislead, such as a deceitful advertisement that makes false claims about a product. Here are a few examples of how the word deceitful can be used in different sentences. The ambassador described the report as deceitful and misleading. The deceitful salesman tried to sell the faulty product to the customer by hiding the defects and making false claims. The deceitful politician told lies in order to get elected, but was eventually caught and exposed. The deceitful advertisement made false claims about the effectiveness of the product, leading to a lawsuit. The deceitful student cheated on the exam by copying from a classmate's paper. The deceitful friend lied about her intentions and broke her promise, causing the trust between them to be damaged. Synonyms of the word deceitful are crooked, fraudulent, and dishonest. Antonyms of the word deceitful are upright, honest, truthful, and faithful. Let us learn the word surge. Surge can be used as a noun or verb. The word surge refers to a sudden, strong increase or rise. It can be used to describe many different things, such as a surge in prices, a surge in popularity, or a surge of emotion. For example, if there is a surge in the stock market, it means that prices are suddenly rising quickly. If there is a surge in demand for a particular product, it means that people are suddenly buying more of it. If you feel a surge of anger or happiness, it means that you are experiencing a sudden, strong emotion. The word surge can also be used to describe a sudden, strong flow or movement of something, such as a surge of water or electricity. Here are a few examples of how the word surge can be used in different sentences. Voltage stabilizers reduce surges in input current and protect the electrical appliances that are connected to them. During a storm, a tidal surge destroyed the bridge. Meteorologists have demonstrated a continuous surge in global temperature using data dating back more than a century. Gary's self-control was destroyed by a surge of emotions. The stock market experienced a surge, causing prices to rise quickly. The athlete felt a surge of adrenaline as he prepared to compete in the championship game. The power surge caused the lights to flicker and the appliances to shut off. Synonyms of the word surge are rush, swell and wave. Antonyms of the word surge are drop and decline. Let us learn the word submerge. Submerge is a verb. The word submerge means to put something completely underwater or another liquid. When something is submerged, it is completely covered by the liquid and is not visible. For example, if you submerge a toy submarine in a pool, it will disappear under the water and be completely covered by it. If you submerge your hand in a bowl of water, it will be completely under the water. The word submerge can also be used to describe the process of putting something under water or another liquid. For example, you might say that you submerged the toy submarine in the pool, or that you submerged your hand in the bowl of water. Here are a few examples of how the word submerge can be used in different sentences. She is a fantastic actress who completely submerges herself in her roles. The scientist submerged the samples in the liquid and waited for the results. The fish submerged itself in the pond and hid among the plants. Many emotions that had been suppressed over the years were submerged during the joyous reunion when the batch met many years after graduation. During heavy monsoons, many villages in eastern India are submerged by overflowing rivers. Synonyms of the word submerge are swamp, inundate, deluge and drown. Antonyms of the word submerge are drain, rise, float and dry. Let us learn the word surplus. Surplus can be used as a noun or adjective. As a noun, surplus means an amount that is more than what is needed or used. It can also refer to the excess of a supply or resources over and above what is required. For example, if a store has 10 boxes of a certain product, but only 5 of them are sold, the store has a surplus of 5 boxes. Or, if a company has $100,000 in revenue but only spends $90,000 on expenses, the company has a surplus of $10,000. Surplus can also be used as an adjective to describe something that is in excess or more than what is needed. For example, you can say, "We have a surplus of apples," or "There is a surplus of seats available for the concert." Here are a few examples of how the word surplus can be used in different sentences. The store had a surplus of unsold winter coats, so they marked them down to clear out the excess inventory. Once they began producing surplus milk, the dairy decided to begin producing value-added products such as butter and cheese in order to provide additional income to the marginal farmers who supplied them with milk. The government has a surplus of food aid that it plans to distribute to families in need. There was a surplus of tickets for the concert, so we were able to get seats in the front row. The farmer had a surplus of apples, so he decided to make apple cider and sell it at the local farmers' market. It is ironic that, while a large proportion of the world's population goes hungry, surplus food is frequently discarded. Proper distribution is urgently required. Synonyms of the word surplus are excess and extra. Antonyms of the word surplus are lack and insufficiency. Let us learn the word critic. Critic is a noun. A critic is a person who gives their opinion or judgment about something, especially a work of art or a performance. Critics can be professional writers or reviewers who write about movies, music, or theater, or they can be everyday people who express their opinions about various things. For example, you might say the film critic gave the new movie a negative review, or I asked my friend, who is a food critic, for recommendations on where to eat in the city. Critics can be positive or negative in their evaluations, and their opinions are often based on their own standards and expectations. It's important to remember that criticism is subjective and different people will have different opinions about the same thing. Here are a few examples of how the word critic can be used in different sentences. The critic's extensive music reviews are highly sought after by music enthusiasts. Everyone knows she has long been a vocal critic of that institution. The art critic praised the painter's use of color and composition in the new exhibit. The music critic gave the band's latest album a mixed review, praising the vocals but criticizing the production. The theater critic was impressed by the actor's performance, calling it the best of the year. The movie critic's review was so harsh that it almost ruined the film's reputation before it even came out. I asked my friend, who is a wine critic, for recommendations on what bottle to bring to the dinner party. Synonyms of the word critic are detractor and fault finder. Antonyms of the word critic are complimenter and praiser. Let us learn the word preface. Preface is a noun. A preface is a short introduction at the beginning of a book, speech, or other written work. It usually includes information about the purpose or background of the work and may also include an acknowledgement of the people who have helped with the project. For example, you might say the author included a preface in the beginning of the book to explain the inspiration for the story. Or the speaker started her presentation with a preface thanking the organizers and sponsors. A preface is often written by the author or speaker themselves, but it can also be written by someone else who has played a significant role in the creation of the work. Here are a few examples of how the word preface can be used in different sentences. As a preface to her introduction to the prospective employer, Joan began by saying that she had never practiced as a lawyer, though she held a degree in law. A well-known critic has written a brief preface to her story to explain some of the historical context. The preface of the textbook explains the objectives of the course and the chapters that follow. The preface of the report acknowledges the contributions of the research team and the funding agencies that supported the project. The preface of the speech thanked the audience for attending and gave a brief overview of the topic to be discussed. Synonyms of the word preface are exordium, preamble, foreword, prologue, proem, and introduction. Antonyms of the word preface are appendix and epilogue. Let us learn the word sloppy. Sloppy is an adjective. The word sloppy is used to describe something that is not neat, tidy, or carefully done. It can also refer to something that is careless or rushed. For example, you might say the sloppy room was cluttered with clothes and books scattered everywhere. Or the sloppy workmanship was evident in the uneven paint job on the walls. Sloppy can also be used to describe something that is poorly made or poorly executed, such as the sloppy meal was overcooked and had too much salt. Remember, when something is described as sloppy, it means that it is not well organized, well done, or well maintained. Here are a few examples of how the word sloppy can be used in different sentences. Baby Rita is a sloppy child who always seems to have something spilled on her clothes. Because of the recent rains, the racetrack was sloppy, making maneuvering difficult for the riders. The sloppy garden was overgrown with weeds and lacked clear paths and borders. The sloppy presentation was riddled with mistakes, and the speaker appeared unprepared. The car's engine broke down repeatedly due to sloppy workmanship. The restaurant's sloppy appearance made me wonder about the cleanliness of the kitchen. The sloppy handwriting made it difficult to read the meeting notes. Synonyms of the word sloppy are untidy, messy, disheveled, and wet. Antonyms of the word sloppy are orderly, dapper, meticulous, tidy, careful, and fastidious. Let us learn the word harmonious. Harmonious is an adjective. Harmonious is used to describe something that is in agreement or harmony with something else. It can also refer to something that is pleasing to the ear or eye, or that creates a sense of balance or unity. For example, you might say, the harmonious blend of flavors in the dish made it taste delicious, or the harmonious design of the room created a peaceful and inviting atmosphere. Harmonious can also be used to describe relationships or interactions that are peaceful and without conflict. Such as the team had a harmonious working relationship and were able to accomplish a lot together. Here are a few examples of how the word harmonious can be used in different sentences. The living room was decorated in harmonious colors. The painting's color scheme was harmonious, creating a cohesive and pleasing visual effect. The song's harmonious melody was soothing to the ears. The couple had a harmonious marriage and were always supportive of each other's dreams and goals. The festival's harmonious blend of cultures made it a one-of-a-kind and vibrant experience. The artists' harmonious collaboration resulted in a successful and memorable performance. Synonyms of the word harmonious are euphony, melodious, and canorous. Antonyms of the word harmonious are disharmonious, dissonant, discordant, and tuneless. Let us learn the word conscious. Conscious is an adjective. Conscious refers to being aware of one's thoughts, feelings, and surroundings. When we are conscious, we are awake and able to think and perceive things. For example, when we are asleep, we are not conscious. But when we wake up in the morning, we become conscious again. Sometimes, people use the word conscious to describe being aware of important issues or problems in the world. For example, a person might say, "I am conscious of the need to protect the environment," which means that they are aware of and care about the issue of protecting the environment. Here are a few examples of how the word conscious can be used in different sentences. They are determined to complete this project on time because they are conscious of the problems that will arise if it is not completed before the start of the rainy season. She made a conscious effort to communicate what she had in mind, though she was aware that her team members felt otherwise. John realized that only a conscious decision to eat healthily could save him from the ravages of his lifestyle diseases. Maya remained conscious after the local anesthesia was administered and observed the surgeon repair her broken arm. As I walked home late at night, I was conscious of my surroundings. He is conscious of his responsibility to serve as a positive role model for his younger siblings. The organization is conscious of the need to reduce its carbon footprint. Synonyms of the word conscious are deliberate, aware, alert, sentient, intended, and responsive. Antonyms of the word conscious are unconscious, negligent, and inattentive. Let us learn the word veteran. Veteran is a noun. A veteran is a person who has served in the military, typically for a significant period of time. The term is most commonly used to refer to someone who has served in the armed forces of a country, such as the Army, Navy, or Air Force. A veteran has gone through the military training and has seen active duty or has served in a combat zone. The word veteran is also used to refer to someone who has a lot of experience in a particular field or activity. For example, a veteran teacher is someone who has taught for many years, or a veteran politician is someone who has been involved in politics for a long time. In this context, the word veteran is used to describe someone who has a lot of knowledge and experience in their field. In some countries, veterans are honored and respected for their service and sacrifices. They may be eligible for benefits, such as health care and educational opportunities, as well as other forms of support. Some countries also have organizations that support veterans, such as the Veterans of Foreign Wars, VFW, and the American Legion in the United States. Here are a few examples of how the word veteran can be used in different sentences. He is a veteran of the Korean War, having served for 2 years in the Army. The veteran politician has been in office for over 20 years. The company has a team of experienced, veteran employees who have been with the company for many years. The veteran teacher has been educating students for over 30 years. The veteran athlete has competed in numerous tournaments and has won numerous awards. Synonyms of the word veteran are seasoned and doyen. Antonyms of the word veteran are tyro, neophyte, apprentice, novice, and beginner. Let us learn the word congruous. Congruous is an adjective. Congruous means in agreement or harmony. It's often used to describe things that fit or match well together. For example, if you have a blue shirt and blue pants, you might say that they are congruous, because the colors match well together. Or if you have two pieces of furniture that are the same style and color, you might say that they are congruous, because they look like they belong together. Here are a few examples of how the word congruous can be used in different sentences. Fighter jet pilots work together as well as with the controller on the ground to fly in graceful and congruous formations. I believe we should rename our company to Winners. It is congruous with what we are doing. The journalist's transition into politics was congruous with his goals, as he has long advocated for clean government. The decorations at the party were all congruous, creating a cohesive and harmonious atmosphere. The new addition to the building was congruous with the existing architecture, fitting in seamlessly. The music and the dancing at the wedding were congruous, creating a beautiful and cohesive experience for the guests. Synonyms of the word congruous are accordant, compatible, harmonious, consistent, consonant, and conformable. Antonyms of the word congruous are disagreeing, unharmonious, unfitting, unsuitable, and incongruous. Let us learn the word wade. Wade is a verb. Wade means to walk through water that is not very deep, usually by moving your legs slowly and carefully. It is often used when the water is up to your waist or lower. For example, you might wade through a stream or a shallow river to get to the other side. Or you might wade through a flooded street after heavy rain. To wade, you need to lift your feet up high and take slow, careful steps to avoid slipping or falling. It is important to be careful when wading, especially if the water is moving or if the bottom is uneven. Here are a few examples of how the word wade can be used in different sentences. Wading through the water during the rainy season is now a thing of the past, thanks to the local government's installation of a proper rainwater drainage system. It was difficult for her to wade down the muddy stream. He waded through the dense forest, searching for the lost hikers. The water was too deep to wade, so we had to swim across the river. She waded into the political debate, ready to defend her position. Synonyms of the word wade are trudge and paddle. Antonyms of the word wade are glide and sail. Let us learn the word withdraw. Withdraw is a verb. Withdraw is an action word that means to remove or take back something, or to stop participating or being involved in something. Let's take a look at an example. Imagine you have some money in a bank account. If you need that money for something, you can go to the bank and withdraw it. This means you're removing the money from your account and taking it with you. Another example is if you're participating in a competition and you don't feel prepared. You can choose to withdraw from the competition, which means you're stopping your involvement and not participating anymore. It's important to remember that when you withdraw, you're not just quitting or giving up, you're taking back something or stopping your involvement for a specific reason. Here are a few examples of how the word withdraw can be used in different sentences. I don't have any cash on me and will need to withdraw some from an ATM. When more than 7 of its players were injured one after the other, the team was forced to withdraw from the tournament. Some questions from the test were removed by the examiners because they did not fall within the scope of the syllabus. The client withdrew all charges against the company after they reached an amicable settlement. The candidate withdrew from the race for the presidency. The government decided to withdraw its troops from the war-torn country. Synonyms of the word withdraw are retract and recede. Antonym of the word withdraw is advance. Let us learn the word fantasy. Fantasy is a noun. Fantasy is a type of storytelling that is not based on reality. It often involves magic, mythical creatures, and imaginary worlds. For example, a fantasy story might take place in a land where dragons and wizards exist, or it might involve a character who has the ability to fly. These elements are not possible in the real world, which is what makes fantasy stories so exciting and imaginative. Fantasy can also be used to describe something that is not real or possible, but that a person wishes or imagines. For example, someone might say, I have a fantasy of winning the lottery and traveling the world. This means that the person is not actually expecting to win the lottery, but they are imagining what it would be like if they did. Here are a few examples of how the word fantasy can be used in different sentences. As a child, one naturally enjoys reading fantasy, but as they grow older, they must transition to more serious reading. Many people behave in this manner because they have little understanding of the world and live in a fantasy in which they have a high opinion of themselves. The movie was a fantasy about a group of heroes who went on a quest to defeat an evil sorcerer. She had a fantasy of winning the lottery and buying a house on the beach. He loved reading fantasy novels because they allowed him to escape reality and enter a world of magic and adventure. She was lost in fantasy as she daydreamed about her perfect life. Synonyms of the word fantasy are chimera, delusion, phantasm, reverie, and illusion. Antonyms of the word fantasy are reality, truth, and fact. Let us learn the word spirit. Spirit is a noun. Spirit can have a few different meanings, depending on the context in which it is used. One meaning of spirit is the non-physical part of a person that is often believed to be the source of a person's thoughts and emotions. Some people believe that the spirit lives on after a person's body dies. This meaning of the word spirit is often used in the phrase human spirit, which refers to the qualities that make a person unique, such as their courage, determination, and creativity. Another meaning of spirit is a supernatural being or ghost. This can include angels, demons, and other entities that are believed to have powers beyond those of humans. Spirit can also be used as a noun to describe the mood or atmosphere of a place or event. For example, someone might say the spirit at the party was really lively and upbeat. This means that the mood or atmosphere at the party was energetic and positive. Spirit also means a strong distilled alcoholic drink such as brandy, whiskey, gin, or rum. Here are a few examples of how the word spirit can be used in different sentences. She was filled with the spirit of adventure and was always eager to try new things. Many people believe in the existence of spirits and ghosts. The spirit at the concert was electric and everyone was having a great time. She tried to keep up her spirit even when things were tough. The spirit of Christmas was alive and well at the holiday party. Some players compete for personal records, while others compete for the spirit of the game. Synonyms of the word spirit are temperament, enthusiasm, earnestness, dauntlessness, attitude, and vigor. Antonyms of the word spirit are body and apathy. Let us learn the word wavering. Wavering can be used as an adjective or verb. To waver means to be uncertain or indecisive. It can also mean to fluctuate or change frequently. For example, someone who is wavering might have a hard time making a decision because they are unsure of what they want. They might change their mind multiple times before finally settling on a choice. Wavering can also be used as a verb to describe something that is unstable or unsteady. For example, a flame might waver in the wind, or a person's voice might waver with emotion. Here are a few examples of how the word wavering can be used in different sentences. She was wavering between two job offers and couldn't decide which one to accept. His support for the candidate was wavering as he heard more about their stances on different issues. The flame was wavering in the wind and seemed like it might go out at any moment. Her voice wavered with emotion as she told her story. The stock market has been wavering a lot recently due to economic uncertainty. Synonyms of the word wavering are vacillating and hesitating. Antonyms of the word wavering are unchanging and steady. Let us learn the word savour. Savour can be used as a verb or noun. To savour something means to enjoy it fully and take pleasure in it. It can be used to describe the act of enjoying food, but it can also be used more generally to describe the act of enjoying any type of experience. For example, someone who is savoring their food might take small bites and fully appreciate each flavor and texture. Someone who is savoring an experience might take their time and fully immerse themselves in it, rather than rushing through it. Savour can also be used as a noun to describe the flavor or taste of something. For example, someone might say this wine has a rich savor. This means that the wine has a strong and full flavor. Here are a few examples of how the word savour can be used in different sentences. Great music isn't just for listening to, savor it and let each mood linger and seep into you. She savored every bite of her favorite dessert, closing her eyes and fully appreciating the flavors. He savored the moment, taking in the beautiful scenery and feeling grateful for the opportunity to be there. The savor of the soup was incredible, it had just the right balance of spices and herbs. She loved to savor a good book, taking her time and really immersing herself in the story. The savor of the coffee was bold and rich, just the way he liked it. Synonyms of the word savor are appreciate, enjoy, relish and experience. Antonyms of the word savor are detest and dislike. Let us learn the word perception. Perception is a noun. Perception is the way that a person understands and interprets the world around them through their senses. It includes things like sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. For example, if you see a chair, your perception of that chair might be different from someone else's perception. You might see it as comfortable and stylish, while someone else might see it as outdated and uncomfortable. This is because everyone has their own unique way of interpreting the world around them based on their experiences and background. Perception can also be used to describe the way that something appears or is perceived by others. For example, someone might say the company has a good perception in the market. This means that the company is perceived positively by others in the market. Here are a few examples of how the word perception can be used in different sentences. His perception of the situation was completely different from hers. The perception of the new product was overwhelmingly positive. Her perception of beauty was influenced by the media and popular culture. His book fundamentally alters the public perception of mental health and the treatments available. The company's perception of the market has improved significantly since it introduced its new line of eco-friendly products. His perception of the world was shaped by his upbringing and the values that were instilled in him. Synonyms of the word perception are consciousness, observation, understanding, awareness, and insight. Antonyms of the word perception are obtuseness, ineptness, stupidity, and denseness.